Hey guys, hope you guys are having an amazing day so far. Your boy is back with another subreddit video, and today we're diving back into r/advice. It's been a while since we've been on the subreddit. For those of you that are new to it, r/advice is where people post their problems or any situation that they're in seeking for advice. And even though I am not an expert by any means, I do like to look at these and try to give whatever advice I can, but sometimes they give me just a new perspective on life because some of them are really crazy situations and some of them are even really funny. So I'm excited to dive into this with you guys. If you guys are new to my channel and you enjoy videos like this, we do it every single day. So make sure you guys stay tuned by hitting the subscribe and the notification bell so you guys are up to date on the daily uploads. Also, if you guys do enjoy the video, it would mean the world to me if you hit the like and the comment section down below because it helps the algorithm a lot and I love engaging with your guys' content. And for those of you guys that want to support the channel, there is a Patreon where you're going to get bonus footage every single day, 10 to 20 minutes of extra content on the Patreon. It's going to be the first link in the description box. Now let's get into it. All right, r/advice. So I just got the top post of the week and let's see what's popping. So first one here, my boyfriend quit gaming. Now I live with a bored and frustrated guy. Damn. What? Okay. So my boyfriend, who's 28, recently decided to quit gaming after years of being hooked on it. He's been a gamer since he was a teenager, and the decision to quit came after he realized how much time and money he was spending on it. His words, not yours. Okay, respect. The problem now is that he's always bored and easily frustrated. He sits around the house all day, sighing and getting annoyed at the smallest things. If I suggest we do something together, he either acts uninterested or says it's just too much effort. That is not good. I'm not sure how to deal with this, and it's starting to affect our relationship. Has anyone been through something similar? How can I support him through this? Or is this just a phase he has to get over? Okay, first off, before I actually give the advice, I want to give you guys kind of a little bit of a background on me regarding this subject because I kind of can understand his perspective. Your boy is a gamer, kind of. I used to be a hardcore gamer though. Like I'm talking middle school through high school. Man, it was to the point, like Modern Warfare 2, I was so deeply involved in, but Skyrim really got me. I remember I was trying really hard to be the popular kid in high school and I would go to all the high school parties, but there was that one thing and it was Skyrim. There was times where I would literally leave a party early just because I wanted to go play Skyrim. Like there could be the prettiest girl. Well, granted, I was not really good at talking to girls, but let's say there was the prettiest girl talking to me. In my head, I'm just thinking like, I need to level up my crafting because how else am I going to get this dragon blood armor? Was it dragon blood? I can't even remember it all, but yeah. So I've been a hardcore gamer and last year, there was a big moment in my life. And to be honest with you, I think it was a lot of things to do with like my mental state, along with like issues I was having with a previous best friend of mine that used to live with me. And a lot of things was going on in my life. And, I quit gaming and I was really focused on YouTube, fitness, just the grind. And, now that I'm back onto gaming and I do it moderately, I play probably 2 to 3 hours a night, sometimes even just 1 hour. I have realized that gaming is any form of leisure, right? And any form of self-care in a way, as long as you're not actually getting frustrated gaming. And there are some people who do that, but if you're enjoying your time gaming, then you could deem it as any form of leisure, right? Like everyone has their form of leisure and it's important to have some downtime. Anyone who doesn't have downtime, I've only met a few people who genuinely don't need downtime, but most, if not everyone, needs some form of relaxation with yourself because if you don't, you might go crazy. Whether it's gaming, whether it's watching senseless reality shows, whether it's, even reading Reddits could technically be just leisure time, scrolling on Instagram, even though I don't really recommend that. But, everybody has their thing to cool down, wind down, and just relax. Now, the only time where I'll say like you got to be careful is if it's starting to consume your life. Like you're doing too much of that thing where you're not being productive in your daily life, not getting your daily things done. Now, back to the thing. Sorry for going on this rant. So with this guy, him saying like, I want to quit gaming. To each their own. If that's your decision, that's awesome. As a girlfriend, you're going to support him, which is great. Now, the best thing to do in this situation is figure out a hobby that he enjoys and feels productive in, right? When I was going through my no gamer phase, I was getting really heavily into volleyball. It was really weird. I got into a volleyball group at the UNCG campus here. I started playing a bunch, and next thing you know, like, I was obsessed with volleyball. I was watching Haikyuu, which is the volleyball anime, and I was learning about, and then I wasn't even thinking about games. I was just getting into it. But then, eventually gaming came back, but that's not a bad thing. It's not bad to have hobbies. It's actually, I would argue, it makes you more interesting. And gaming is also a hobby. You just have to do everything moderately. Yeah, I mean, I think you have to talk to him and really just try to see his mindset. Am I quitting this for a reason that I actually want to do? Or am I just quitting it because I feel like I just need to, like maybe limit it, or just find a hobby that he feels productive in, because it seems like he quit gaming because he didn't feel productive in gaming. Maybe even if he started streaming, that's also an option, because then even if, let's say he gets like 10 views, right? That's still great. And then there's a new level of progression within streaming that can actually be productive and sometimes can even help pay the bills, even though it is hard to start gaming streaming right off the bat. But yeah, just ideas. That's just my advice. I'm not an expert and I'm a dummy, so it is what it is. But let's see what the comments say. I hate asking Reddit for advice because it's always filled with people saying bad things about the OP, the person OP is talking about. Based on what you said, it sounds an awful lot like he's experiencing some form of depression or something else that's going on. Yeah, that can also, like I said, I was going through a mental state and I stopped gaming for it. To quit doing something you enjoy and have zero interest in new hobbies is usually a very obvious indication that there's a deeper problem. Talk to him and figure out what's actually going on. Find out if something happened to him. I recently got out of gaming myself, but I took up cooking because I was bored and I couldn't stand it. For him, it could be boring. For him to be bored to the point where he's aggravated while simultaneously not searching for something new to engage in, it isn't concerning. That is true. I like that. It's not only advice, but it's kind of a perspective. Yeah, you got to dive into kind of that mindset. If someone is giving up on something that they really enjoy doing and just truly not even trying to find something new and just being bored, like choosing to be bored, there might be something going on there. It could be a buildup of things. It could be just something specifically that happened. Like last year for me, it was like a kind of like a mini heartbreak. Like I was going through something where I thought it was going to be serious. Then it ended up like really bad. And I was like, you know what, man, I didn't even feel like I wanted to game, bro. And I had the new Call of Duty too. I just didn't want to game. Like I just was not about it. See another advice. Find something else to fill the time, or multiple things. TVs, movies, working out. Working out's a really good one. I highly advise almost everyone to try to fit in some form of fitness. Find something that you like, but whether it's walking, hiking, sport, whatever, right? Because something about the actual endorphins you get from working out is very good and a key to happiness. But yeah, so this person says basically anything, even better if it's something you can do together. I have found it in the past that initially you might have to drag your partner along to do something, but by the midpoint of the activity, he will concede and they are glad that you forced them into it. If they genuinely don't enjoy the activity, try something else and just keep trying things until you find something you both enjoy. Yeah, that's kind of the fun in life, right? There's just so many things for us to figure out, and you can be a master of anything in this life. What's the value in ending one hobby just to take up a different hobby based solely on others' perspective of you? He clearly likes gaming, so why should he do something different just because other people think those are more fun? Well, no, I don't think so. In regards to what this person is saying, based on what OP said, it seems like he made a decision to himself that he feels like gaming is unproductive. I don't think it is, because I think that you can get some benefit off of gaming, whether it's leisure time to relax, whether it's some form of progression that makes you feel a slight endorphin rush, or even, I believe there was a study, I don't know if it was a Harvard study, but there was a study that surgeons who play fast-paced multiplayer games, kind of like a Call of Duty and stuff, are usually better because of the reaction time. So, I mean, there is some benefits in it. Don't take it to the extremes, though. Take that, with a grain of salt. I don't think anyone should be like gaming hardcore, unless you're making money off of it. Or if you're competitive gaming, that's a little bit different. Like if you're like legitimate on a team and stuff, that's a different story. I'm not talking about that. But just like the average person, it's fine to game. Just don't make it an addiction. That's the fine line. Some hobbies end up being addictions, which sounds like what's happened to OP's boyfriend. Recognition of poor money management. Yeah, money is a thing too. Some games can cost a lot if you start getting like really heavily into new games. Excessive time playing, irritable while not actively participating in the activity are a pretty common markers of addiction. Yeah, could be that. All right. Oh, real quick, before we move on to the next one, I'm curious. Do you guys have any game that you felt like you were really hooked on? Like you put a milestone of like hours on? Let me know in the comment section what your guys' game was and like what you estimate in terms of how many hours you put on that game. Because I'm just curious, because mine was Skyrim. Right now it's Marvel Rivals, but Skyrim I think probably has the highest playtime for me. I mean, I can't even fathom how many hours I put in Skyrim. It's got to be 100 plus. I think no. Actually, you know what? There was one game that was more than Skyrim. It was RuneScape. I put in so much time when I was younger in RuneScape because it was free. That's what it changed. And I was like freaking like 9 years old, loon. All right, let's read the next one. Yeah, I hope they figured it out though, the boyfriend and the girlfriend in that situation. All right, I think I just caught my neighbor's wife cheating on her husband. Do I tell him? Whoa. See, this is why I like r/advice. We get into some crazy stuff. Like I can't even imagine. Like I'm walking outside my house and I just see like another man kiss this woman who I know is married to another guy, which is my neighbor. All right, let's read the story. So I moved into this neighborhood in Las Vegas last year. One of the first neighbors I met, let's call him Eric, lived one house to the left from the house directly across the street from mine. So diagonally, right? Also, sorry if I'm really nasally. I don't know if it's like just the spring allergies or something. It's destroying my sinuses. He introduced himself and offered to help. So Eric introduced himself and offered to help me carry stuff into my house from my U-Haul. So cool guy right off the bat. He lives with his wife and 2 kids, I think age 2 and 5. And he's outside his house a lot because he vapes a lot. I wonder how young he is. And doesn't want to vape inside the house with his kids. Okay, I respect that actually. I walk my dog 3 to 4 times a day. So I'm always running into him outside and we make small talk while my dog rolls around in the grass. One of the few lots with real grass in my neighborhood. Aw, that's really nice. That seems like a cool neighbor. Also, guys, real quick, I hate to go into this tangent. I got to get something for my nose. We got some nasal spray here. I don't even know if it's expired. All right, we got 1 month left. All right, let's continue this. Sorry for that. All right, so tonight I was out walking my dog around 11:30 p.m. for his pre-bedtime bathroom break. Eric works graveyard at one of the MGM properties on Las Vegas Strip. So he works the latest shift, and usually goes to work around 10 to 10:30 p.m. Okay, so he's already gone by the time you're walking your dog for the last bit. Our houses are towards the end of the block. Me and the dog are about 3 or 4 houses from the corner at the end of the block, at the other end of the block. So we're about 10 houses away from mine and Eric's. I noticed this car pull us up and parks on the street about 3 houses behind me, almost at the corner. This guy gets out and starts walking towards me. And now I'm paying attention because why isn't he walking into one of the houses directly in front of his car? He gets to, this is like some like premeditated stuff. He gets to about 1 house from me and then he crosses the street to the other side. So now we're both walking parallel to each other. Dude, I love how this Reddit person is writing because I can vividly imagine the situation. He's walking faster than me because I stopped to let my dog sniff whatever he wants to. He gets to about 4 houses away from Eric's house and stops and pulls out his phone, maybe texting for a couple minutes, enough time that I caught up to him and pulled slightly ahead. Wow. Now I'm looking at him because it's just effing weird that he's parked all the way down the block when the street in front of me and Eric's house only has 1 car parked on the curb. Like there's multiple parking spots, but it's obvious what's going on. So this guy must be up to no good. He starts walking again. And now I'm nearly across the street from Eric's house. I'm stopped acting like my dog is sniffing something because I don't want to walk into my house and have the guy follow me or something. Smart move. What I see next is the guy hurried, because, you know, in the other guy's perspective, this is just some guy walking the dog. He doesn't know who the fuck this is, right? This guy hurried, walked to the side yard of Eric's house, and I'm like, oh, fudge. Is this guy about to burglarize Eric's place? Ah, that is true. I didn't even think about that. I don't think you guys can see him, but Sora is just in the cat house over there. Nope. Eric's wife opens the side door to the garage, leans out, and gives him a hug. And I can't tell if there was a peck too. Oh, wait. And I can't tell if it was a peck to the cheek or quick kiss. Ah, so they went to the side door because there's probably not a Ring camera there. And then they both walk into the garage. Actually, as I type this out, I just realized why he went to the side yard. Eric's front door has a Nest camera. Yeah, I suspected so. Eric and his wife almost exclusively uses the main garage door to get in and out. So this is suspect AF, right? It's Vegas, and we keep weird hours here. But who visits socially around midnight? And if it's a social or a friendly visit, why not park directly in front of the house or even the driveway, which is always clear because the wife parks inside the garage while Eric parks on the street? Damn, sounds like a good guy. I think that they were deliberately avoiding being seen by the Nest camera in front of the door. I don't think Eric has any other cameras other than the front doorbell thing. I have a story about this after. So now what do? My loyalty is with Eric, and we're not friends or anything. We don't really hang out other than just seeing each other on the street. He's still a good guy though, and he doesn't deserve this. I have never actually met his wife, and I don't even know her name. I see her leaving and entering the garage, but I hardly ever or never really see her outside. Do I tell him and possibly cause this family to break apart? They have 2 young kids, man. On the other hand, I don't think I can look at him in the eyes again when I see him out there tomorrow. What do you married people think? Edit. Forgot to add. I went back to the other end of the block around 12:15 a.m. and take a picture of the car and license plate just in case. I'm going to be stewing over the situation all GD night. That's crazy. And there's an update. All right, we're going to get into update in a second, but I have a quick story. A good friend of mine, this happened to him. He was engaged with this woman. Actually married. He was married. They had a kid together, and he caught her sneaking in her ex into their house. And it's not just any guy, it's her ex. And he knows what he looks like, you know? And the reason they got caught was also the side door, but he had put another security camera that he didn't tell her about. And it was like kind of like, not like a hidden camera, but it was like, you know, it was a little bit harder to tell where it was. And so crazy situation. So anyways, let's read the update. So update 1, lack of any anyway. 24 hours later, finally had the time to sit down and crack my tablet open. Holy S, I must have struck a nerve. While I can't read 2,700 comments, I read about the top 25 highest rated. Some of the most recent ones in my notification are just unhinged. Stop projecting your insecurities on me. Oh, wow. He must have gotten like some crazy DMs. I don't know why people are going towards OP. I've also had some interesting DMs ranging from people asking if it's somebody close to them because the details match too closely. It's not so far. To a major news outlet wanting to cover the story, which I think is a bad idea. Yeah, I respect that. To people suggesting that I blackmail the wife to sleep with her. What the F is wrong with you? Wow, that is not even... What kind of incel culture stuff was that? That's not even in the picture. As to what I'm going to do, I still don't know. It's a good thing I didn't see Eric out today because I really don't know what to do. The top rated comment feels right, but I'm also leaning towards the let him know anonymously option, which I think might still point towards me because I don't really see him talking to any other neighbor that I've seen. So it'll be obvious. And yes, minding my own business still remains on the table. And no, I'm not married. I don't have kids. And no, I'm not putting cameras to monitor their house. I do not have a security system, but they only record on motion. Or he does have a security system, but it only records motion. And I have a sensor limit to the fence line. This dude's not walking by my house anyways. Okay, I'm gonna give my advice before we read. This is a tough situation, man. This is really hard. Cause like I'm on the let him know anonymously, but then it's obvious. So I don't know. That was my first choice, but then he said it would be obvious that it's him. And then the other option, just not say anything, mind your own business, but then that's gonna eat at you because you're just gonna be guilty of it. I don't know. This is a tough one, man. I honestly am stumped. I don't know what I would do because like he's not a friend, you know? Because if it was a friend, obviously you gotta tell him, but like it's just your neighbor. But because then you're meddling. I really am like 70% sure I would do the anonymous thing versus the other two. I'm leaning towards. I'm not 100%. I honestly don't know. You guys let me know in chat or in the comments. Let's see what other people say though. So first comment or top 1% commenter says, I would give him the heads up, just saying. Hey, Eric, just thought I'd let you know while I was walking out the dog last night at blank time, I saw a guy acting really suspicious. He parked down the road and started walking towards our houses. Crossed the street into your side. He stopped in front of blank door number and was messing around on his phone, then went into your lot, but I avoided the front door and camera and avoided it, the camera. I thought I saw him go into someone. Wait, I thought I saw him go in as someone opened the garage door from the inside. I hope it was just someone just visiting and not wanting to wake your kids, but because he was avoiding the car and his face cameras in case you in case you find anything missing, this is his car and license plate. Whoa. This comes across as being the concerned neighbor, but giving him the opportunity to investigate. Yeah, that's not a bad strategy. I would have been even more vague, but not a bad strategy. No, I could see that. Go at it at a perspective of like concern, not suspecting any cheating, because you don't want to be the guy who's doing that. What does the next top comment say? In my opinion, that U-Haul help on day one showed your alliance here. That's a person who you want to look out to help. Who was looking to help you out when he could. That's true. You should do the same. Don't tell him she cheated. Just tell him what you saw. Yeah, I do agree that there should be some form of him telling him, whether anonymously or not. But if it is obvious that it's going to be you, you might as well just tell him. But don't tell him like you're suspecting cheating. Don't be that guy, because then you don't know when cheating is involved. There's just so many emotions at play. Just tell him exactly what you saw, and then peace out. It's like that emoji of that black kid with the dreads that he's like, boom, and he fades away. Yeah, just do that. All right. That was a wild one. I enjoyed reading that one in a sense of like, not enjoyed. That was not a fun thing to do or happen, but it was entertaining to read. What? Hold up. This one sounds juicy. All right, saddle up, gang. Title of this one says, my girlfriend drunkenly kissed her coworker. That's a breakup. What? Okay, I'm 23 male. She's 21 female. To provide some background, we've been dating for 6 years now. Wow, 6 years? That's crazy. Wait, she was 15 and you were 17 when y'all did? That's crazy. Okay. And they've been friends for 10 years. So since she was 11 and you were 13, that's crazy. I am the only long-term relationship she's ever been in. Well, yeah, duh, because she just like got out the womb like yesterday. I'm just playing. She's an adult. I'm totally joking. But she is a night shift nurse, and I am in my final semester of college. She has recently found a group of friends at her job, and I've been really happy for her because I understand that we are able to understand and relate to her. Because they are able to understand and relate to her in ways that I can't. I went out of town for the weekend to do stuff with my family, and she ended up going bar hopping with her friend group. They ended up back at one of the couple's apartments and continued partying. She said she passed out drunk and woke up at night, and her and one of her coworkers ended up talking about some deep stuff. One of her friends recently passed away from OD, blah, blah. She said mid-conversation, he called her beautiful and she kissed him, and they made out for a couple seconds. What? She told you this too? That's crazy. Oh my God. All right. She claims that she was incredibly intoxicated and didn't have impulse control at the moment and regretted it the second she realized what she's done. I came home the next day and she called me profusely crying and apologizing and admitting to me what she did. I will say, before I actually give my perspective, I do respect the honesty of admitting it, but let's continue. Ever since she started night shift, we have had a little time together throughout most of the weeks, as our schedules are complete opposites. And on her days off, I still have classes. I have had plans of proposing, and we plan on moving together once I had graduated and started work. I never expected to find myself in this situation. I don't know how to tackle the situation from either side, whether leaving or trying to make things work. I don't know what questions to ask or how to move forward, and I want to give her the benefit of the doubt, as nothing has ever occurred in the last 6 years we've been together that you know of. I'm not saying anything, just saying that you know of. What do I do? Wow, this is a tough one. This is a tough one, gang. I'm very curious on what you guys think. I'm gonna give my perspective on this. So she cheated, right? But it's a little finicky. She's drunk, all that stuff, and this and that. She still cheated though. I don't know. I think this really lies, because I it's hard for me to give this advice because I've never been with someone for 6 years and then have them do that to me. Because that's gotta hurt, man. I'm so sorry for OP. Like, that's tough. Fuck, what do you do? I mean, either way, you have to assess, are you okay with the situation at all? It doesn't seem like you are. I know some people are like cucks, but I obviously wouldn't be okay with this. And I think I would resent this person for the rest of the relationship. And so I think I would have to end it, not so much because of just the action itself, because that is part of the reason, but because I would resent the woman that she is for the rest of the time. Even if she's like trying to forgive and all this stuff, I just know that there's going to be a passive aggressive side, whether that's a lack of immaturity on my end for not being able to like flesh that out or not. I just know that at least within the next year, it's not going to be a good time for me. And I got to look out for myself too, you know, and I'll look out for her. Cause then if she's with someone who's just being resentful the whole time and like passive aggressive because of something that she did, like how just personally, how am I supposed to trust you every time you drink now on with your friends? Like, it's gonna be hard for me to trust, because if I'm not there, you know. And then on top of that, like, you work with this guy, he's gonna be working with you still. It's not like you're gonna quit this job and find somewhere else, right? And I'm not gonna ask that of you, but at the bare minimum, I would need a break to really assess the situation. And within that time of the break period where it's a no contact, I know some people think that breaks and no contact are stupid. I think this is a little bit of a different situation. Me personally, I would at least do that first to then see, okay, within this break, am I happy? Not so much happy, but like, do I not have this cloud of like, what the fuck around me? You know, I don't know. This is tough though. Again, I'm not an expert and I haven't been in this situation. So that's just from my perspective. Let's read the comments though. That's a coworker of hers. So if she decided to forgive and move on, so if you decide to forgive and move on, you got to be comfortable with her seeing this guy every shift, hanging out with him, even in a group setting. You're going to be anxious and always looking for signs something's going on. You say you'll forgive if she quits. Wait, you going to say you'll forgive if she quits? She'll eventually resent you for making her leave her job. Yeah, that's kind of what I was alluding to too, where she has friends and she's 21. That's a good gig for a 21-year-old. Just to walk away from. Tough spot, man, but it's going to be real hard to move past this. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, for real, man. I don't think I could ever trust my partner again after that. They still have that desire and chose to do it, even if drunkenly or impulsively. Yeah, that's true. And it's like, even though being drunk was a reason, it doesn't allow it to be an excuse, you know? That's like the same thing with mental illness, being drunk, a lot of things. Now, I'm not going to talk about like the really dark stuff. Like, you know, you guys can infer. I'm not going to say that. But in a situation where everything is like consensual and you're just drinking and stuff, but like whether it's mental illness, mental illness, drinking, anything involved, right? Even if you do something, it doesn't excuse that action. It gives a reason you did it, but it doesn't excuse it. You still did it. Better break it off clean than to have a quiet voice in the back of your head forever doubting her loyalty. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, I would be resentful personally. I would expect a girl to be too. I would hope that has never, ever, ever, ever happens to me. But I'm just saying, if I was in a perspective where that had happened on my end, I would I would expect the girl in that situation to end things. Because, I mean, that's a sign to me. Why did I kiss somebody in that situation? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's just me, though. That's never happened, though. Not in a serious relationship. But I've had, like, things where it's, like, flings, but you don't really, like, specify the exclusivity of it. But I was a lot younger, too. I was 20, like 1, 2. As you get older, you start learning how to deal with situations better because you're able to see the other person's perspective. And at least if you're a sane human being that cares about people, then you start seeing it in that way. You're young. This sucks. You can leave. Yeah. You are really young. You don't want to be, God, this is so tough because 6 years to throw away, 10 years technically. But it's a big decision. I mean, you can I don't know if you can marry a girl like, I don't know. I'm stumped. This part is funny. This commenter references, I'm the only long-term relationship she's ever been in. No shit. Y'all started dating when she was 14. That's how I felt. That's so funny. I love this subreddit. Whoa. Dude, what's up with all this cheating, man? We got a cheating-filled episode. We got another cheating one. This is going to be the last one for the day, though. Except for Patreon. I'm going to read at least 1 or 2 more. All right. I caught my mom cheating. Oof. My 20... So OP is 20 and a girl. My parents have been happily married for 20 plus years. Wow. Recently, while scrolling through our shared family Google Cloud, I found videos of my mom cheating from 8 years ago while she was on a business trip. In the family Google Cloud? Oh my gosh. And it was videos? What kind of videos? Every photo that was taken on any device in my family automatically gets backed up to this cloud. The videos were clearly taken in a hotel room with some old guy that's definitely not my dad. I can't get the videos out of my head, and the smallest thing instantly takes my mind back to these videos. What did they film? Was it like a tape or like, oh my God, I can't even imagine. Oh, like seeing that? I feel so disappointed and disgusted and don't know what to do. On one hand, if I confront my mom and she ends up asking me not to tell my dad, I'll feel super guilty about it. But then on the other hand, if I end up telling my dad anyways and he doesn't know, I risk the potential of them fighting about it and the worst case scenario, divorcing. Is that really the worst case though? Because I don't know. Dude, it might be better. Because if she's doing this kind of conniving stuff, they shouldn't be together, right? Unless they're in a open relationship or they're okay with it, like he's a cuck or genuinely like poly or something. That's a little bit different, but I don't think that's the case. That's the only way I could see it justified. There was never a period of time, especially when the videos were taken, where I remember my parents fighting or being distant, which made me believe that it was never brought up. Their relationship isn't open. Oh, there's the definition right there. The relationship isn't open. So it is messed up. And my dad is definitely not the type to cheat. But my mom is very extroverted. I'm currently away at college, but have 2 younger siblings who still live at home. I don't want to affect them if it ends poorly. Oh, wow. So I see. Now I understand why she said that that's a worst case scenario. Because she in her perspective, she's thinking like she's empathizing for her siblings too. I don't know how to go about this because I can't keep it to myself anymore. Does anybody have any advice for how to bring it up to my mom? And also just how to handle the situation? By the way, guys, I am not a bot. I didn't think I had to clarify. Wow. God, I don't even know what my advice would be. Also, I'm so curious. What was the videos? Fuck. Your dad has to find out, right? I don't know. Let's read the comment. I'm stumped, man. How is she so dumb as to the photos in a shared album? I mean, it does share automatically if it's a family iCloud, but she should know to like delete it or to put it in hidden. That's pretty goofy of her. Also, to have video evidence is so goofy. Tell your dad he will be crushed if he finds out that you knew but said nothing. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. Because then, like, if you knew and then your dad found out, he's going to feel betrayed by you. Wouldn't you want to know if your spouse was cheating on you? You know, I had a great question that it was me and my cousin and my sister. This was back during the vid when we were all in lockdown. And I don't know why. We just talk. And I had this one, like, stumping question. If you had the most happy marriage ever, right? But your partner had cheated on you, but you don't know. And this is just a scenario where you get to decide, would you rather know and end the relationship, even though he was the perfect, quote unquote, perfect, because no one's perfect, and he obviously cheated on you, so it's not really perfect. But he was really good and like great guy, great father, all that. Would you rather know or just stay ignorant to it? And that's a tough question. Most people that I asked this said that they would rather know and go through the pain. But there are, believe it or not, there was a few, very few people who took the other route, say that they would rather just be ignorant to it. It's interesting. It's just an interesting question. I would rather know, personally. Talk to your dad. As a father myself, I would hope I instilled honesty, loyalty, and honor in my kids as is part of my duty. I would hope that my kids would tell me anything they knew about and I should know about. Your dad should know about this. Your mom will always love you, but she made a terrible decision. Yeah, she also has to learn the consequences of it. Because like, if nothing ever comes about this, she could be doing this more than just then. Like, this could be a very reoccurring thing too. Do not lie to your parents. That's what a good kid does. You got this. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Chat has convinced me. Yeah, tell him. I mean, I was kind of on that way. Like, I was leaning towards that, but I don't know. It was really tough because you're like a kid. Wow. Not a kid, but you guys know. Their kid. That's so shitty. Wow. What else? I want to read more comment on this. The worst possible outcome is your dad finding out independently and then finding out that you knew and didn't tell him. Betrayal from his wife is hard to cope with, but betrayal from his daughter too, absolutely devastating. Yeah, that's facts. Doesn't necessarily matter if you found out too much later or intended to tell him but hadn't found a way to tell him yet. It isn't a logical problem to solve. This is how he feels, and people can't logically find their way. Can't logic their way to feeling the right way. If he doesn't feel you hid it from him, you two will probably be okay. But if he does feel like you hid it from him, he will be devastated. It would change your relationship with him forever. Feelings are weird. We can know a thing isn't true, but we can still feel like it is. Don't roll the dice on this. Yeah, that is really good insight right there. Wow, that was crazy. What a cheating-filled episode of r/advice. That was intense. Anyways, if you're a Patreon member, I'll see you there. If not, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.